Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. And you haven't seen me in quite a while because I haven't done one of these in, too long. Before the holidays, I took some time away from, and now I'm back. So now, if you're interested in being interviewed on the Business Plugs Mixer, then by all means, the link is in wherever you're watching this. Come join me. Let's have a conversation. The Business Plug Mixer happens on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's where business owners talk about what they do and how they do it. And it's an opportunity to get seen and heard by my audience, which consists of about 20,000 people across several different platforms. And I've been doing this since 2018. I was looking at it and I was thinking, oh man, 2026, we're here. We're finally here. And so tonight is all about new year, new goals and setting goals, right? So it's the first Sunday of the year. And I want to impress upon you the importance of living intentionally. Like you should actually have goals that you set. Some people choose to call them resolutions, right? And what I found is resolutions don't last past January. Many of them don't last past January. And those that do, a lot of times they don't push us to be better over the long term. And so this is an opportunity for you to learn about how to do how to do goals, period. I said business goal, but these are goals that you can apply to daily life, right? We're going to talk about the three different types of goals there are. And I'm going to help you. So I hope that you're watching. I hope that you have pen and paper. I hope that you will converse with me. We'll talk back and forward. I want you to come in. Let's have a conversation about goals. Have you set your goals yet for 2026? Or are you still, we're in day 4. So are they pending? Or are you looking like, what does it look like? And I have found, I get so many people ask me about, starting businesses or going back to school or writing books or any of the things I've already done. I get people asking me about how to do a TED talk, like so many things they ask me about that I've had a pleasure of doing since I lost my I thought forever job back in 2013. And so I've had to reinvent myself several times, several times since 2013. And so right now, I am working for public transportation here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we are building the first ever customer service department. And I am loving the experience. And so we can talk about that, right? We can talk about how that's been going. I've been doing that since October. And it's wonderful. It just seals however, people think about their past or what you used to do or what you've been taught or what you've went through in life. This is a prime example of my previous life preparing me for my now life. So I think I'm qualified to tell you about that part. And I want to tell you about goals. So this is what we're talking about tonight. So, and before I do that, because I always forget, but before I do that, I want to tell you that if you would like to be a guest on the Business Plug Mixer, I would love to have you. I would love to have you. So there's a link wherever you're watching or listening to this. There's a link where you can join me or reach out to me, DM me. Let's talk. It is more about me helping you get seen, get heard. And I love having business conversations with business people for business people. Like I love that. I love being able to bring new ideas and new perspectives to the platform so that people can learn. My whole goal is to educate. I'm an educator through and through. Shout out to my GED students. I teach math and science for TCAT Athens, Tennessee College of Applied Technology, Athens. I teach math and science for them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so if one of your goals this year is to get your GED, then reach out to me and I can put you in touch with whoever's in your region. Like this is Tennessee, but there are programs similar to the TCAT program all over the nation. and they're to help people who want to get their GED, people who didn't give up, people who are still in the battle. And one of my students, I think she just turned 72, and it's an honor. I consider it a deep honor to have her in my class working toward getting her GED at 72 years old. Isn't that remarkable? So yeah, so that's what we're doing. So if you want to come on the Business Plus Mixer, go ahead. There's an appointment guide there for you. If you just want to reach out to me and let's talk about, have a conversation about what you're doing and how you're doing it. My website is getthebusiness.org. That's GETTHEBUSINESS.org. Getthebusiness.org. You can reach out. It does have a contact Linda on it. So you can reach out and let's have a conversation. Let's see what you're doing and how you're doing for this new year, right? And without further ado, I'm going to put my presentation up. And it's the new year, new goals, right? That's what we're going to talk about for a few minutes. I will not be long. But I have a few, your new year and how to set goals, right? Because here's the thing, we're in 2026 now. And I know even though we're still right in 2025, the calendar has changed. And so we're moving on. So it's important. What do you want out of this new year? What do you want this new year to look like? And how can you intentionally get there? Because a lot of times people have wishes, right? People have wishes. They wish. We're going to talk about wishes too. But new year, new goals, how to set goals in 2026. That's what this is about. And I hope you will lean in. I hope you have pen and paper or pen and something to write on, something to write with, something to write on. And I hope you will hang out with me for just a few minutes, get you something nice to drink, and let's talk about new goals and new year. Okay. So with that, you have to know that 2026 must be different from 2025 for a lot of people. A lot of people had some major things happen in 2025. And so it is imperative that 2026 be on the uptick, right? So goals without clarity or they become wishes, and wishes are for birthday cakes, the candles on birthday cakes. That's all wishes are for. They're not for your life. Like you can wish that you want to have a better life. You can wish that you want to get that job. You can wish that you want to have that book. But actually, until you put action behind those wishes, they're just wishes, right? And goals without structure become stressful. How many times have we set a goal for ourselves and it felt like a heavy weight? Like it felt like, oh, this thing is like more stressful than everyday life. Who needs more stress in their life right now? I don't. I don't. I think I've had enough. So I'm trying to de-stress. The whole goal in 2026 is let's talk about creating structure around our goals so we can de-stress, right? So we can get these things done that we want to have in our life and we can de-stress. And then goals without accountability disappear. So if you have goals out there and you're not being held accountable for them, like you're in a silo by yourself having these goals and you're not checking in with anything or anyone, yeah, those goals will be gone by the end of the year. They'll be like the resolutions. They'll be gone by the end of the month. I said the end of the year. I meant the end of the month. They'll be gone by the end of the month, and you don't want that. So goals without accountability disappear. I don't want your goals to disappear. So we're going to talk about that too. And then 2026 requires strategy. So you can hope that it gets better. You can hope that you get a new job. You can hope that you write that book, that you start that business, that you take that class. Like you can hope for all those things. But until you put action behind them, until you put tactical strategies behind those dreams and those visions and those goals, again, they just become wishes. And wishes for birthday cake, the candles on birthday cakes. And that's not what we're doing. So let's talk about what we should have left in 2025. In 2025, you should have left those vague resolutions, right? One day this year, I am going to, one day, one time, like all the vagueness, right? No specifics. In 2026, we're going to say what we want, and we're going to say it with intentionality. We're going to put tactical strategies behind the goals. And so we're going to do the SMART goal thing. Hey there. Hey, Margaret. Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, smiles wins, absolutely. And that's the thing is like Margaret, people think it takes 365 days. They have these resolutions for the whole year. I always, always, always like to impress upon people 90-day goals. What can you do in the next 90 days? Like, how can you do it in the next 90 days? And so we're thinking about tactical and results, or I'm results oriented to a fault sometimes because a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are okay with the vagueness and the one day and the all. I have to have concrete goals. So you talk about SMART goals, right? SMART goals are those that are specific, they're measurable, they are actual, like they'll actually happen, right? They actually happen, realistic, and then they're timed. The T stands for time. And these goals, a lot of people have SMART goals, but they don't have the tactics to support those goals. And so therefore they never get them accomplished. So yeah, so you're right, Margaret. Absolutely. So this is what we're doing this year. We're trying to have remarkable. I posted the other day, there was a saying that said 12 focused months could erase 5 bad years, like 12 focused months, right? And so in 90-day increments, I'm going to teach people about 90-day increments. What can you have done? Like where you want to be in 90 days. And then back that up to what do you have to do in the next 60 days that's going to help you be successful in the next 90 days. And then backing that up some more and saying, what do you need to do in the next 30 days that's going to help you be successful in the 60 days, which is going to help you to be successful in the 90 days. And then even back that up too. What do you need to do in the next 2 weeks? Who do you need to call? What places do you need to go? Where do you need to look? What links, what kind of connections do you need to make in the next 2 weeks? That's going to make sure that your 30-day goals is met. That's going to make sure that your 60-day goals is met. That's going to make sure that your 90 days goals are successful. Like thinking of it, I love Stephen Covey, the 7 habits. What is it? The 7 habits for highly effective people. And one of them was begin with the end in mind. I love that. That has been a power move for me since I heard it. I was like, yeah, that one right there, begin with the end in mind. That's how we should focus on this year. So in 2025, we should have left saying yes to everything. Oh my goodness. Your no is just as powerful as your yes. And sometimes we overstress, outstress ourselves because we won't tell people no. We won't say, hey, no, that's not what I want to do. But we'll say, yeah, we'll do it. And then it stresses us beyond belief. And then we're worn out and thinking, oh, this is a terrible idea, right? And then overloading our plate. Like T.D. Jakes, in one of his books I read years and years ago, he talks about a young lady who went into a restaurant and she turned her coffee cup over. She wanted some coffee. And the waitress walked to the table and she said, let me know, say when you've had enough. And so the waitress begins to pour. And she pours and she pours and she pours and she pours. And now it's all over the table. It's all over the cup. It's all over the salsa. It's everywhere, like all over the place. And the lady's looking at her like she's crazy. But she told the lady, let me know when you had enough. Tell me when. And the lady never told her when. That's what it's like when you overload your plate. If you don't tell people when, they'll just keep pouring it on. They'll just keep pouring, keep pouring, keep pouring, keep pouring. So it's important for you to recognize your capacity because it may sound good. Like we want all the things, right? We want all the bells and whistles. We want all the things, all the jobs, all the contracts. I'm teaching businesses how to get contracts. And, I have businesses that are very, very, very they're very eager because like they got their first contract and they're excited, and they get their second one. And then Miss Linda, I got this and I got this and I got, and I'm warning them about capacity, because when you're the solo entrepreneur, like many of us are, and your capacity is only limited to what you can do. So when you overboard your plate, you're taking on all these projects, and it won't be long before you have a bad reputation out there. And we don't want that. We want you to understand what your capacity is, what your capacity is, and we want you to understand how you can do teaming and partnering and other things in order to expand your capacity. But it's important for you, first of all, to recognize that you have capacity limits. Like you have limitations. Like just because you can don't mean you should. Okay. And then the final thing on here is confusing activity with progress. Oh boy, that one right there. So people think that because they work a lot of hours, I come in at 7 in the morning and I don't leave till 9:30 at night, or whatever that looks like, right? A lot of times people confuse activity with progress. Like you can be, I think of the hamster on the wheel, right? The hamster on the wheel. He's busy. Now he can be there, do that for hours, but where is he? What has he done? What has he accomplished? So we have to stop confusing activity with progress. Progress is one thing, activity is another. You can be busy all day and get nothing done. You can be busy all year and get nothing done. The point of it is, these are the things that we should leave in 2025. Okay? Vague resolutions, overloading our plates, saying yes when we should be saying no, confusing activity with progress, because it is not the same. It is definitely not the same. Okay? And so let's start with alignment. You hear it a lot. Like people always say, "Oh, I want to be in alignment. I am trying to be in alignment." I hear that so much. I hear that like a lot of people. I'm in alignment. My business is in alignment. My job is in alignment. My life, my whatever, right? But let's talk about it. Have you asked yourself, who am I becoming? Like getting aligned means you have to know who you are. A lot of you'd be surprised. So you would think, yeah, everybody knows who they are. That's not true. That's not true. A lot of us are being told what we are or who we are, or we let other people, we put that gavel in other people's hands and let them tell us who we are. No, you need to understand who you are. Who are you becoming? Like, what is your purpose? Why are you here? Like, do you have this life? Why have you chosen, made these choices? You need to understand who you are. And then what season am I in? So just like the calendar, life has seasons, right? And understanding what season you're in, because seasons change. They do. There are seasons where you're very productive and things seem to come your way easily and things are just going well, and friends and relationships and everything is popping. Everything's doing what it does. But then there are other seasons that are dry and nothing's coming. And in those seasons, a lot of people get discouraged because they don't see results. But many times they don't see results because they should be learning. That's a season of learning. That's a season of going in and fine tuning and taking out all the dead stuff and seeing what worked and what didn't work, and taking inventory on ourselves, retrospectively doing the work, what we need to do on ourselves to keep us strong. Because a lot of times people who are, especially those who are givers and who pour into other people, some of us don't have anyone pouring into us. And so in those dry seasons is when we should be looking for who can pour into me to build me back up. Where do I need to go? What do I need to see? What connection do I need to have possible? So understanding what season you're in can be a great, great, great tool for you. I have people that say, "Linda, I've been stuck right here for the longest, and everything is just like it's playing over and over and over." And I ask them, what lesson are you trying to learn? Because the test is continually took until you learn the lesson. So are you paying attention to what's going on? These things that are happening over and over and over and over and over, are designed for you to learn something. And if you're learning nothing and you're not paying attention, then it keeps repeating itself. You keep attracting the same thing until you get the lesson. You stay stuck. It feels stuck. And so when I'm helping people deconstruct the season they're in, or to learn what's happening in the season that they're in, I ask them to look inwardly. What's going on? Like, what are you seeing? What's happening? What keeps repeating itself? What is the lesson here? And then if they say, well, I don't know, I wish I knew, I'd go ahead and learn it so I can go on. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. You have to work, you have to do the work, right? So absolutely. There's so many seasons. There are, like, the calendar has four, but your life will have several. Okay. So you will have you will have more than four seasons in your life. But it's understanding what season you're in. You're so right, Margaret. It's understanding what season you're in. And then what do I have the capacity to do? Like, what do I have the capacity for? Understanding what is your capacity. A lot of people just bring it on, bring it, bring it, bring it. And in the Bible, so you'll hear me say Bible references because I'm a Bible girl, not trying to put it on anyone else. That's just who I am. But in the Bible, it talks about he'll give you blessings that you won't have room to receive. And a lot of times when that happens, people are like, but I asked for this. I asked for this, but it's driving me crazy because they don't even know what their capacity is. You need to understand, what is your capacity, right? What is your capacity? What do you have the capacity to do? Somebody reached out to me today and said, hey, Linda, I was thinking about my conversation with you, because I'm very, very forthcoming when people ask me about why I went back into corporate, right? So in October, as I said earlier, in October, I went back to corporate. I'm working at the public transportation we have here in Chattanooga. After being a solo entrepreneur, right? A solo entrepreneur. After being an entrepreneur full time for the last 6 years, I went back to work in October. And I'm very transparent about it. Anyone I want to talk about it, we can talk about it. I had to sit with myself and ask myself what truly matters. You need to know what truly matters. Like, people know me as an entrepreneur. People know me as a business builder. I built businesses in small communities and underserved communities and people of color and all the things. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing as a person for about 40 years, but as a business for the last 12. And in the last 6, I was doing it full time. Well, the money for the people that I serve dried up, right? And so the money for the people that I serve dried up. And so I start thinking, okay, what do I need to do? Well, I still have marketable skills. I still have things I know. I still have things that I want to do in my life. And so I applied for some jobs and actually received 2 interviews and took the job that I'm in. And people say, oh, you still liking that job? Which is really funny to me. But people ask me all the time, you still liking that job? I'm thinking the hardest part of that job is getting up in the morning, guys. Like, that job is not hard for me. It is meant for me, in fact. So it's not hard for me at all. I enjoy going to work. I enjoy the work I do. And I enjoy talking to the people and being customer service. I've been customer service for about 14 years previously. And so all those things I learned back then, I'm actually being able to implement right now. And I am ecstatic. So yeah, I had to find out what really mattered to me, like not to my kids or the public or whoever. I had to decide what really matters to me. And then I had to go for it. So when we're talking about goals, there are 3 categories. There are personal goals, there are professional goals, and then there's business and financial goals, right? You need a balance in the 3. Like, what personal goals do you have for yourself? What are you looking for? We talked about alignment earlier, right? Are you looking for what fills your soul? Do you know what fills your soul? A lot of times when I'm talking to people, they're like, Linda, I don't know what my purpose is. And I tell you, the 40 days, right? The driven purpose driven life by Rick Warren. I read that book 20 years ago, maybe, right? But in it, it talked about, I think it was on day 15. That's what comes to mind. And it talked about your purpose and why you're here. And reading that, hey, Maria, my sister in the DMV, um, reading that chapter that day for that day was an awakening for me. I realized that I had been running from my purpose. Like I was like, I'm taking care of everybody else, but nobody's taking care of me. And then I realized that my purpose is to help lift people. My purpose, why I'm here, is to help people see their potential and have the ability to hold it for them until they can catch up with it, right? Because a lot of times people don't know what their potential are and what their potential is. And so I am there to help them find that. Good evening, Chicago. Hey, how are you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining us. And so personal goals is what you should be working on for yourself. Like when I talk about goals, I talk about maybe one, maybe two, no more than three. But in each area, have no more than three goals, and then break them down into 90-day increments and work on no more than three. So let's say work on a personal goal, work on a professional goal, and then work on a business financial goal. Like one each, okay? Or however you choose to do it, whatever works for you. Because this is freestyle, do it your way. But it's all about having balance and have a place of calmness. A lot of times people are living in chaos, and chaos is not good. Like having your blood pressure up, always feeling stressed out, all the things. I love that Dr. Seuss poem where he says, absolutely, I would love to be in Maryland. Look, in the spring or the summertime. In the spring or the summertime, because I'm definitely a Southern girl. But I would love, love, love that. You know that. You know, all you have to do is ask and I'll be there. But thank you, John, for being here. But I would love for you to think about your personal goals. What do you want in your life? I went to Oprah, some of you may remember, I want to say back in 2014, Oprah did a national thing traveling around the world, and it was about creating the life you want to live. And let me tell you, that was so eye-awakening and empowering. And she had, and I forget the lady's name, and I'm sorry, but she had, because part of my illness, is the the memory thing. But anyway, she had this lady on there, and she was talking about the story, the hero story, and how in our lives there's a hero story waiting for us to tell it. And it was so empowering. So 3 goals you should be working on: personal goal, professional goal, business and financial goals. And in 90 days, work on one of each, right? For the year, have no more than 3. For the whole year, have no more than 3 in each category. But in 90-day increments, work on them until the end of the year. Again, balance matters. Balance matters. So turn goals into outcomes. So a lot of people say, well, I want more money. What I want to do this year is I want to make more money, Linda. I want to make more money. I get to hear that so much. I want to make more money. And the thing about that is not that is not concrete enough. That is too vague and too broad. What about I want to increase my revenue by $25,000 by the 3rd quarter? Now, that's clear and measurable, right? And it's time. I talked about SMART goals. Again, SMART goals are specific, right? They're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, and they're timed. So you have to think about, are your goals vague or are they very specific? That's the thing. And then once you have specific goals, right? Once you have the very concrete goals, you put tactical strategy behind them. So if I'm saying I need to lose 30 pounds, or if I need to lose 10 pounds in 30 days, right? I can say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 30 days. Is that a specific? Yeah. Is that measurable? Yeah. Is that achievable? Absolutely. Is that real? Yes. And is it time? Yes, 30 days. That is a smart goal. But let me take you one step further. I need to say, by eating more vegetables, by exercising, by drinking more water, by getting my rest, by taking my vitamins. Like, these are the tactical things that I will do in order to ensure that I meet the goal, right? That's what I'm talking about. When you're making your goals, make sure that you're putting tactics behind it that will help you to meet those goals. So they're not vague and broad. And yeah, they're smart, and yeah, they sound cute, but they're not achievable because you have made no change or no effort toward making sure that you can meet those goals. So here's the goal filter. Here's the goal filter, right? When you're making your goals, you should say, does this move me forward? Or is this keeping me stuck? Or is it even putting me back? Like, you need to be realistic. Is it realistic and now, right? Does it require support? Okay, if this is something that, be honest with yourself, right? Be honest with yourself, to thy own self be true. Is this something you can do by yourself? And if not, then you should probably look into getting a accountability partner. My accountability partner, Keita, God bless her. Keita has been so good for me. So yeah, so being accountable, right? Again, from the top of the slides, what is not accountable disappears. If you have no accountability, it disappears. Does it require support? Be sure, if you need support, that you ask for support. And anytime you're doing goals, it is great to have somebody doing it with you, right? So consider that. And will it stretch me and not break me? A lot of people, a lot of people, it's January, so I'm going to lose 200 pounds by March. And they kill themselves doing it. God rest his soul. I had a young man in my life that a coworker I used to work with, and he was trying to get to 40 pounds, to lose 40 pounds by his 40th birthday. And God rest his soul. And he had a heart attack because he pushed too hard. Like, you have to know again, it goes back to understanding your capacity. And this is not meant to break you, right? This is meant to stretch you, not to break you. We're not trying to hurt somebody. There's no gold medal coming that you should just push yourself until you just, all broke that. No, this is not that. This is you stretched, yes, being stretched, coming outside of your box, getting outside of your paradigm. Yeah, this is that, but it's not about breaking you. Okay, so don't do that. So break it down. Annual goal, quarterly focus, monthly actions, weekly task. Is that simple enough? You decide what you can do in a week. Then you can decide what you do for the month. Then you take the month and go quarterly. And you take the quarters and go annually. It's all beginning with the end in mind. It's still that Stephen Covey stuff. I love that method. Again, 90 days goals, and you march them out. At 90 days, I want to have X done. And what do I need to do in 60 days to make sure I have it in 90 days, right? What do I need to do in 30 days to make sure my 60 days goal works so that I can have what I need in 90 days? And then what do I need to do in these next 2 weeks? Starting tomorrow, who do I need to see? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to do? Like, putting action behind your goals. So you're not just making up goals, you're actually walking it through. You're making it happen. I talked to a young lady today, and she's supposed to be spending the night doing what she does, but she will be going tomorrow to sign herself into rehab. Yeah, it's that important, right? She wants to skip steps and go to a women's uh, shelter place, but she has some things she needs to go to rehab first. And so we talked about it and we prayed about it, and then tomorrow she's going to check it out. You have to start tomorrow. You have to start reaching out and having conversations and doing the thing. If you're serious about these goals that you're setting in 2026, and you're tired of living being thrown around and here, there, and yonder, and you really want to have concrete, intentional goals that you can meet in 2026, then catch this in the replay, get your notes out, and apply. I tell you, you need to understand accountability is everything. Who you check in with, what are you going to be measuring, and what happens if you fall off track. So who you check in with needs to be somebody who's supportive and not a sergeant. Again, we're not trying to break you. That's not the goal. We're trying to get somebody that can help you stay focused, help you walk through this journey, because it feels good when you're doing it with someone else. And then what are you measuring? Because what doesn't get measured doesn't get done. You have to have measurements, metrics. You have to understand, depending on what you want done, you have to understand what are the things that you can do to measure. Okay, I need to do, again, my going back to my weight loss thing, then I need to weigh myself every week, or I need to weigh, not every day, but every week. I need to weigh myself. I need to make sure that I'm getting these type of vegetables. I need to go shopping. Like, what do you need to do to get these measurements right? And then what happens if you fall off track? Because this is life, right? And in life, we fall off track to human, right? It's human to air, right? It's human to air. So in that case, if you fall off, guess what you do? Get back on. It's not that hard. Start again. Start again. Start again. If you get off track, start again. That is the beauty of life, is that we're allowed to make hiccups. We're allowed to make mistakes. It's just that, it's like riding a horse. If you get thrown off, you jump back on. You don't just, oh, it threw me off, so I'll never do that again. No. You jump back on. Okay? And so you have permission to adjust whatever you're doing. You have permission to pivot, to pause, to refine and rebuild. Progress is better, greater, larger, more lasting than perfection. This is not about becoming perfect. It's not about being perfect. It is about progress over perfection. Okay? Making progress. And so, my final charge for you, 2026 is waiting on your decision. You're going to set goals that honor your purpose, recognize your capacity, and yield results. And it's all up to you. This ball is in your court. This is what you're saying that you want to do. This is what you're wanting to apply. So I hope that you have done this, enjoyed this few little minutes of me just yakking, and drop a 2026 goal in the comments here, or type ready if you need support. Okay? But that's it. That's the whole thing. I came on because I wanted to start the new year off with the Business Plugs Mixer, giving people assistance in setting up goals and goals over resolutions every single time, because this is going to last longer than January. And so, goals over resolutions, go back and watch the replay if you need to, and put your comments below. I would love to hear what you have to say. And thank everyone for joining me. If you're just coming, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug, and I'm the owner of LSMB Business Solutions. And you all have, Chattanooga, it is warm here. It is 49 degrees right now, but I think we got in the 60s today. So the day was great. But thank you for joining me in New Jersey. Thank you, New Jersey. Thank you for joining me. Thanks, Chicago. Thank you, Margaret, for inviting your friends to come join me. Thanks, Maria. You know I love you. But thank you all for joining me. And I hope this has been beneficial to you and a great way to, to do your snowy evening. But get in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Tell me what some of your goals are. Like, let's talk about it. But I'm here to help serve. So have a great rest of your evening and enjoy the final moments of your holiday weekend. For those of you who are reporting back to work tomorrow, hey, I'm one of them, but I work today too. So, so it doesn't matter for me. But have a great evening, everyone. And I'll see you next week on the Business Plugs Mixer. Good night, everyone. Have a great evening.